Boom. Here we go.
Welcome to Fireside Chats with Chelsea. How are you guys feeling? Are you happy to be here?
Well, it is hot here, so the fireside analogy is appropriate.
It feels like you're very stressed about the heat, Jack.
I'm stressed because I'm not fit enough to go. Like, I went for a run just before, and like everyone talks about Singapore being so hot. I went to dinner with Fred Funk last night, and he was talking about how he went for a run in this, ran 426 per K, 164 heart rate, which is above his race pace heart rate, and his race pace has been like 320s in the T100 tour, and I just went and ran 5-minute Ks and I haven't stopped sweating for like 45 minutes. So
Is Fred just sweating out the booze though from his wedding?
I thought that was interesting timing for a wedding.
Yeah.
Like usually we plan our weddings, everybody in endurance sports gets married in like November.
I was about to say, how many weddings have you planned?
Well, only one so far.
Okay, good.
Hopefully only one ever. But usually they're in the off season.
Yeah, I thought so.
It was because at the end of last year the schedule hadn't came out, so they had planned the date of the wedding before the T100
cancel the wedding
tour. And then the grand final got switched in Dubai, and I don't think he was going to do Dubai, he was just going to do the grand final. I think it was all a bit convoluted, but yeah, he still was out till like 3 a.m. and he didn't know his own name by the end of the night, so that was only 3 days ago.
To my point.
Best wishes to Fred.
Is this count as a honeymoon-cation then?
I actually really did F up my wedding because I too thought that now that I think back to it, I too thought that it was going to be the end of my season. But then I changed my training situation and realized I needed to race a 10K like 4 weeks after my wedding, and we had
Did you change this during your wedding or after?
We had a honeymoon all booked to Australia. Nice, right?
Yeah.
And then I needed to go to training camp instead.
Oh shit.
I know. And so we had to we rescheduled a honeymoon for like 2 or 3 years, and we haven't taken it yet.
Still coming to Australia?
We've been married for 9 years now. I have visited Australia on my own. So TBD on the honeymoon. I think I deserve it.
Someone in Noosa has a nice little Airbnb that you could go and visit for a honeymoon if you wanted to talk to someone.
Maybe it would be sponsored.
Yeah.
Well, Beth and Luke have we've been offered Beth and Luke's place.
It's not Jan Frodeno.
It's not Jan's place.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll hit you up at some point.
It's you'd be welcome to come and stay, but that's
kind.
quite. Triathletes have this weird thing, right? Because we got married, and I wasn't doing Ironman yet, and it happened to be the first weekend of October. And we're like, well, I'm never going to do Ironman, who cares?
Yeah.
And so every single year we had our wedding anniversary to be celebrated at one specific hotel in Kona.
Hopefully the Four Seasons.
Yeah. Such a baller place. I love it.
It's so baller.
It's so good.
Yeah. I tried to talk them into sponsoring my Kona preparations one year, but so far, no go.
Interesting. How would you feel about that though? Like, I always had this thing, pre-race, go minimal.
Yeah.
Because before it's kind of there's too much luxury,
you don't want to be
too
too
much
bougie.
comfort.
It's true.
And like it's great, but like we were just saying, not many great things come from a position of comfort.
It's true. This is true. I would like them to sponsor my recovery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great plan.
Yeah.
Talking of recovery, you look like $1 million. We've seen you like the whole season, and we know you've had like some ups and downs and tough. I was so impressed with your race in Nice and how you got yourself together. And now you're sitting here and you look like a different person.
Oh, thanks.
You look like you're back, Captain America's back, loving life. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here celebrating this wonderful season that everybody has had, and sad to not be racing. But I'm not in race mode right now. So I'm not feeling like stressed like everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm on the path to getting healthy, like taking a real end of season reset, which I haven't done in a few years.
Yeah.
So
is this reset physical or mental?
I think it's both, honestly. Like this year I moved and I changed coaches and made a pretty major sponsor change that was very stressful, and I didn't quite realize how that all accumulated for me. I think when you're in the middle of a season really chasing big goals, you can't let yourself reflect too much on the tolls of those things. You just have to keep on moving forward and taking each day as it comes. And so now I'm kind of like allowing myself to reflect a little more on those things and how they impacted me and my family, which is pretty significant.
Yeah.
And yeah, getting ready for a big season next year.
Has 2024 changed who Chelsea Sodaro is as a person?
I think that I have that's a really interesting question. I don't think I have changed much as a person necessarily, but I feel maybe like a better sense of confidence in who I am.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Doing commentary with you in Vegas, I felt like a sense of like a weight had been lifted off your shoulders or something compared to the previous time I'd seen you, where you felt smaller or something, like you were hiding and like you didn't really seem like you wanted to be around people as much. In Vegas you seemed completely free. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been through a lot professionally the last couple of years, and like we all endure a lot, right? When we're chasing really big goals and there are a lot of eyes on us. And I think I maybe just like having weathered so much, I care a little less maybe what people think of me or expect of me, and I care more about what I think of myself.
Yeah.
I saw this really great quote somewhere that was like, the only people you should really accept criticism from are the people who can call you on the phone, who have your number, who can call you on the phone. And I think I've owned that.
Yeah, the problem with Instagram is you can just go into messages and click call on anyone's. So.
I don't accept those.
That definitely doesn't count. That's already a wide spectrum. I mean, accepting and taking it on, I think it's such a fine line as well, especially when you're fatigued, taking things personal and just looking at it and thinking like, is this well intended? Is this not well intended? Kind of thing. Like I remember like struggling big time in the beginning until you actually eventually you realize, okay, well, just got to put one foot in front of the other, which is again why I was so impressed that you turned it around in such a short space of time. Like most people you see takes years. And then I remember you would say, you in Singapore, you're like, yeah, but I don't have that many years. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Again, pressure is a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can take that from that. I always used to say pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly feel that way, right? It is a privilege when my husband actually tells me this, the reason that, you know, somebody like you or me maybe gets a lot of criticism is because they expect great things and they know what you're capable of. And when you fall short of that, right, they're like disappointed. And so certainly it is a privilege, but I think I put enough pressure on myself, and that's what I really have to like come to terms with.
He seems like a very chill dude. Is he like your kind of rock in the sea? Whenever I see him, he's just like, he's just, you know, he's just calm, and I see everyone's a bundle of nerves, and he's like,
Yeah. I think he's not a triathlete himself, and we really got into this together. You know, like I'm not a lifelong triathlete, and so we've weathered a lot of the storms through multiple careers, and I think it takes a really strong man to fully commit to his wife's career and to their family, and to say like, you're going to be the main character of our professional life, and he's that kind of guy.
That's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, like having a family, having children, like and sport is kind of, it's so hard to get the balance right? Because every day is a new day. You're like, who's knocking on the door today? It kind of feels like a little bit crazy. So, it's really nice to see that bit by bit you figure it out. But then I always came to this point where I expected things to just keep going the way they do, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, tonight we're not sleeping tonight.
Well, kids are a good lesson in that, right? Like I mean, I'm gonna get home from this trip and she's gonna feel like a different person than when I left. Like she's always changing, and we always have new stuff coming up in our lives, and things are predictably unpredictable.
Yeah, but in terms of perspective though, is kind of like where I was trying to get, like, I had this moment where I was the night before Hawaii actually, and I was sitting there with my little guy, and I just realized he couldn't care less.
Yeah.
like genuinely could not care less. And all the people that hack and that criticize, don't criticize, that expect all these things, you're like, we'll come back to this. And yeah, it just doesn't matter. And I think that perspective really, really helps. Does that resonate with you?
It's very grounding, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think at this point, you know, life can change for me with a big win, but my home life doesn't change a whole lot regardless of how I perform on the race course. And ultimately, like, my kid just wants me to be present with her and playing Bluey on the ground. When I get home, she's not too worried about how I perform.
How do you balance the financial stress though? Like, your kids might not care, but you, Jan, Emma did very well with her career as well, but I would say you both were the primary money makers in your households. How do you balance the stress of, you know, say you're going through a poor bit of form and you're not winning races and maybe getting sponsorship pressure, although I don't know if you ever felt that. How do you balance that with, you've got a family who don't really care if you just stop doing this tomorrow?
Yeah, you always forget, like, I sucked for a long time. Like, I had proper finance, like I went from proper like zero to actually finding sponsors. And then eventually you realize, like, it comes and goes, right? It's just, money was never my motivator. It's great to get the recognition and to do all these things, and more important, I always found it to pitch to like bigger brands and bring them into the sport and just convince them to show people how cool our sport is and get new brands into the sport. That was kind of more our journey. But yeah, of course, like, money's always been a means to an end. You know, you're afforded to do the travel and you don't have to worry where you're staying and all these kinds of things. But that's only something I've recently become aware of, where I'm like, okay, no, geez. I woke up without a job one day and then try and figure it out from a new. I took it for granted for way too long. I mean, I don't know, obviously, how you see it or how it works in your household, but for me, it was just, I was way too blasé.
Yeah.
Just had a very good team, had a very good manager who always took care, but I could have done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that similarly to Jan, although I have not accomplished as much as Jan.
Who has that?
Money has never been what's motivating to me. Excellence has been what's motivating to me, and so we've really tried to set our life up in a way where that's what I can focus on. And like, it's a pretty monastic life, right? When you're swimming, biking, and running for a living and want to get the most out of yourself. Like, we're not, going on crazy vacations at this stage because performance is the focus. And of course, it'll be interesting to see what comes after triathlon. But I also, I think I'm like an impact athlete in the sense that, like, I want to leave the sport better than I found it, or like leave the sport a more welcoming place for women and mothers. So figuring out a way to like make a difference there rather than like get as rich as I possibly can off of this.
Yep.
I think people don't realize, like, high performance sports, at least all the ones that I know, it's not half as glorious as people make it out to be. People just think, it's here and it's
not
super
glamorous,
electric.
right? Like we were talking about training in Kona, right? Like, we're not staying at resorts preparing for the World Championship.
No,
I mean, you're like grinding.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you come and you stay in a nice hotel, like here, T100 Dubai, we're staying in a nice, I haven't got a room yet, but I'm assuming it's nice.
Are you not staying here?
Yeah, I am. I just arrived.
You haven't been to your room. Okay.
The presidential suite's just being prepared. It takes an hour, not 20 minutes.
It's fine.
Exactly. And this is the thing. Guys like Jack Kelly think we're staying in the presidential suite all the time.
Jack's just coming to the T100 and he's getting paraded around.
The Maybach picked me up at the plane direct and brought me here. That's not how it works. It's a pretty simple...
In 2022 for Hawaii, I booked my Airbnb. I'm a little superstitious about when I book things. I should be more organized. but I don't book it
Tell
to
me
like
this.
qualify for it.
Oh my God, I had the same thing.
Yeah.
I never ever, that's why I always
And
only
I'm
booked
really
it in like
debating.
July.
Right now I'm debating because I'm like, for a long time I was not in a financial place where I could book things in advance, right? It was like really scraping it together, but now I could be like, I could book like the training camps throughout the year now. And that would be, but I would save me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would like get better, choices on where I want to stay. But in 2022, I thought I was being very clever, booking a place last minute. It was pretty affordable. And I get there race week. There's no AC in Kona. And I freaked the F out. And somehow I convinced Steve that we should drop, at the time, this is very terrifying to me, that we should drop $1,500 on a hotel for like 3 days before the race. And I'm pretty sure this is why I won, because I left my toddler. Like I got away from my family so I could actually relax.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe don't pin it on your toddler, just for
I'd
future
never heard
reference.
this story.
She'd be fine.
So you, for 3 days, you stayed by yourself before that win?
Steve and I moved out from where my family was staying. Like we were going to be with my daughter and my parents, and we moved out because the air it was a whole drama. And yeah.
Crazy that. So I had the same superstition,
Yeah.
but that was always part of my heat prep. I never had AC.
Oh, I'm not as hard as you.
It's not hard. It's just
I'm not interested
It's just
in that.
whatever you do is to believe, right? And for
That's
me,
true.
it was just believing.
So just no AC.
The AC just was this old school train of thought. I'll get sick. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Oh,
And I was
interesting.
I'd never ever turn the AC on. I'd be like panicking about it. Walking to a supermarket, I'd be like, "In, get my stuff, get out." Just,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so before Kona,
Before any heat race,
okay, for how long?
as long as I could, as soon as I got into the warm environment.
Really? So like 3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes?
Yeah.
Wow, right up until race day, no aircon ever.
Not like in very, very extreme moments, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You
tried to
think
avoid
it
altogether.
helped, like when you reflect on it?
No, probably not. Like, yeah, it did help because mentally I believed it.
There's so many things, right?
Yeah.
Where it's all about what you believe to be true. It's not about whether it actually works.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Like, it's 90. No, what's the saying? 90% of the game is half mental.
I like that.
Like, 10% is outside, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Like that.
yeah, the rest is half mental.
That's great insight though. They're two stories I'd never heard. I've never heard you tell that story.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I don't come on your podcast.
Pro tip. Because you don't come on the podcast. How many times have you tried to get you on your podcast?
I've asked him once.
Just once.
The
Did
other
you
week.
offer to pay him
the
for
other
it?
week. He said yes too.
Did he come
He
on?
actually said we're doing it this week.
Oh, really?
This I did not. I said we'd do it, but I did not say that we do it this week.
Okay, that last bit, that was a lie, but he did say yes.
This guy's a master of
That's
just
a big
shimmying in his
win.
truth.
Here he is.
There you go.
So the
Live in
first
colour.
ever
Oh, talking
tell
about
all
being
yarn
colour.
Frodeno chat.
I mean, this is kind of awkward. I'm like,
He's sitting out. He's in Chelsea.
Am I leaving now?
It's up to you. Do you want to talk to Sam? Are
Am
you
I
done?
interviewing Sam now?
Yeah, I think you should interview Sam.
Yeah.
Hang around for a little bit more. Oops.
Sam,
here we are at the round table.
do you want to talk about your feelings?
My feelings, no, not really.
No.
Tell
How
us your
are you
deepest,
feeling?
darkest secret.
Don't you hate when people ask you how you're feeling? I hate it when people ask me how I'm feeling during race week.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be different if like we were having breakfast and I was like, how are you really feeling?
that would probably be a little more weird. But, but it could be good too.
This American thing, though, right? It's like when you go to the
Can I just
supermarket,
tell you-
it's like, how
In
are
the
you
last
doing?
couple of years, I have been told so many times I'm too American, and I don't even know what that
You
means.
sound super
I didn't
American.
say too American. I just said it's such an American thing to ask,
Do
how
I
are
sound
you?
American?
You got like a very classic American accent, I reckon. Yeah.
And what do I sound like?
American.
Because I'm joyful?
Hey, you just
Free.
told us you're too serious. Oh, was that before?
I didn't say that. Somebody else said
Oh,
that.
somebody else said that. I don't
Somebody
know, you
told me
even
this
said
year-
to me you're Captain America.
I'm not
pool.
Captain America.
No?
No.
Okay.
Somebody told me this year that I'm serious, not fun like the Norwegians.
Well,
Rude, huh?
There you go.
and how did that make you feel?
Are you excited for this weekend? You're gonna have a great swim. We're manifesting it.
Yeah.
We're manifesting it.
Let's define. I mean, what is a great swim, right? It's relative.
It's relative.
But
That's true.
yeah.
But for you,
I'll have a great swim. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna have a good swim. I'm just gonna execute. My mindset and my goal is to execute the race that I am capable of.
yeah.
And with how the standings are looking, I believe that's going to get me likely on the podium in the standings.
I'd like you to have a win this weekend. I'm rooting for you.
That would be great. I mean, that would
Yeah.
be great.
I think something that people haven't realised as strongly as they should with you is that your good races happen in the heat. Almost always.
This is so true. Were
St.
we
George,
talking-
Singapore, Miami, Sam Long in the heat is a different animal compared to Sam Long at San Francisco. You came out of the water in the lead pack at San Francisco. You didn't have a special day. If you had done that in Singapore, you would have won, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Or
And
Miami.
these conditions, to me, feel almost, if not as bad as Singapore. So you would surely be going into this race with a ton of confidence.
Technical course.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the heat's going to play a big variable, especially middle of November. People aren't really used to the heat right now, and the technical course, yes and no. I think it depends if they allow drafting in and out of the corners. Because obviously that affects me on my own negatively. I think if they keep the gaps fair, then I think the technical course is actually quite good for me.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the conditions, everything. How have you felt? Like, I mean, it's a long season, right? We've never had a series, things coming together. It feels like Miami was yesterday. And then you think all these races in between. Here we are, grand final.
For me, your jaw is going to drop me on. It's my 11th race of the season.
That's a lot of. It's also
It's a lot of
a lot of
races.
traveling.
Yeah, but if I wouldn't have talked to him, it would have been his 15th. I pulled this guy aside in San Francisco. It's like, I'm going here. And dude,
That's
just
true.
calm down. Just calm down. It's a lot of racing.
I was really
Hard
proud of
racing.
you when you didn't go to Australia.
That would have been crazy.
That was a good move.
Yeah, it would have been crazy, but I mean, I don't know.
As we say,
regrets it.
Yeah, he has
as we say
FOMO.
in America, built different.
Well,
Different.
yeah, I mean, it's about a different. It's not about the T100, but Australia was solely about trying to get to Kona, and obviously I didn't end up at Kona. You know, I mean, I'm sitting next to two Kona world champs, so you guys know Kona better than anyone, right?
This is true, and this is probably why we both agree that it wasn't a great move to go to Australia, because it's probably not a side project. It's not a side hustle, even if you are built different, to go and prep for Kona.
I think Kona is like a season project, and similarly to how the T100 is a season project.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to be excellent in a lot of different events in the way that I think you want to be. And it seems like a lot of guys are maybe paying for those decisions now, whereas this has been your main focus of the year. And maybe that's going to play out well for you this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, totally, right? I think it's coming now in the sport where we have to choose our focus and where our heart lies or where our loyalties lie, right? And obviously I chose the T100 this year and I stand by that decision. And maybe got, a little sidetracked, I guess you could say. And I think that getting sidetracked is understandable as well. I think the qualification is especially complicated with committing to 6 T100 races, right? And then because it's two whole separate Ironman builds, assuming you meet the qualification. And anyways, yeah, I mean, the years has highs and lows, and let's hope it's another high on Sunday.
All right, here's what I think you should do. You should go, finish this race, kick ass, get on the podium, try and get your first W, get your first win. Conditions, everything. I know it's tough, but I think you've got it in you. Then, I think you should go and take some time off, and then you should start swimming.
Oh, I
Swimming,
know. Actually, I actually have some
and more
advice.
swimming.
And if Jack hadn't cut me off on the broadcast last time, Jack, then I would have given it to you on the broadcast.
Okay.
And also, do you ever take time off?
Yeah.
But like, but like actually,
No.
You don't, like, do you ever like take 2 weeks where you just go,
Like off, like not touch my bike, not run, not swim?
I think taking time off too is like a mindset, right? Like maybe a few days a week you like go for a jog or like hop in the pool or whatever, but like you really reset, like you're not in training. Like
Yeah,
for 2 or
would
3
say
weeks kind of thing.
I do some of that.
You can't help yourself. You end up out on Mount Lemon doing a KOM attempt every time.
Yeah, no, not so much, but no, I agree on actually taking, this is the first season ever I actually feel like I want some time, like off,
Yeah.
you know, and so I plan on taking a little bit of time off,
Yeah.
and then swimming
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Jan,
Swimming with focus and
with that
commitment.
swim advice, is that advice stay in Tucson, train by yourself in the pool?
Here we
do
go
more-
Are you ready for my advice?
Or what is it?
I love how we're just bombarding him with advice.
Because everyone gives
That you didn't
Sam
ask
some
for?
advice.
That's true. I hate unsolicited
But
advice.
Jan's the guy you'll take it from,
Yeah,
right?
you know what they say about
No,
opinions?
but we had this chat at the pool 20 minutes ago, so it's not. I don't feel quite so bad. But you think about it. What have you got to do? What have you got to do for next year to be in this position and be like Martin Van Riel, who out of his own strength is a master of his own destiny,
Yep.
right? Like he's the only one here who is the master of his own destiny. Anyone else needs Martin to fail to be a world champion,
Yeah.
right? And for you to be in that position, I think the only weakness you have is your swim. And if you look at back, I mean, we were talking about this as well, like people always say you have to go to Australia, people swimming culture. America's got a very good swimming culture, I think.
Best in the
Got
world.
Heaps and heaps of good coaches. But to see yourself as a swimmer for a little bit being at least a few months, to close that gap and take the risk, right? Because we triathletes, we're always like, oh, I should do another jog and the bike and I can't let this slack. And it's a risk. It's a risk you take because you don't know if it'll pay off or not. But at the same time, with your back against the wall, is that not your best bet?
It's 100% my best bet. And I'll go back to Chelsea's first question here. I mean, we might as well. It's the theme of this chat. How do I feel, right?
Yeah.
No, but because I've thought about this, like, why haven't I already done this? Why am I now 28 years old and I haven't already done this? And I think it comes down to feelings in a way.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling of riding my bike is so good. The feeling of running is so good. The feeling of getting in the pool twice a day all winter is not as good, you know? And so it's actually putting those feelings aside and committing to the hard
how do you
thing
make it good?
and the unsure thing.
Yeah.
You make it good by getting good, right? In my opinion. Like,
Or maybe just like the right like environment, you know, for it to feel good and for it to be fun, right? Because it's hard to do it a lot if it's not fun.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah, I think you need in that essence, I do enjoy swimming, but I do think it comes down to like what you're really good at. Like you probably enjoy running the most.
No, I mean, I feel similarly about the bike, for instance, right? Like the last like couple of years have been tough. They've been like a little hit or miss for me on the bike, right? It's been unpredictable. And so I think a lot about like what environment can I put myself in where like I want to get out on my bike every day and
Yeah, you have to create that environment.
you have to create the environment, right?
Create the environment. So
Or like find the right people around you where it's more predictable, I think.
It's an interesting discussion as well because you always say find your passion for something, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you find your passion because you find a talent at something. You find that you're slightly good at something and then you develop a passion automatically, to your point.
Yeah, exactly.
You start to enjoy it because you get good at it, right? And that kind of self-perpetuates and becomes this flywheel that keeps on turning. And that's your goal. That's got to be the goal.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think you circumnavigate that passion. You say, what is my passion? My ultimate passion is I want to be the best in the world. So then, well, the air flowing on my face might feel better on the bike, but the passion of being the best in the world is much bigger than that. So go and get my ass in the water and figure it out, you know?
I think you raised a good point, Jan, and this is so commonly talked about in triathlon that if you want to be a good swimmer, go to JR's swim squad, where your famous swim coach who's in Noosa, Australia. And Australia has a great swimming culture, but America have been the best swimming nation for the past decade. They are dominating world swimming. Australia's still very, very good, and they're a close second, but America are undeniably better. Why don't you just go and get in a college swim team and swim with them? They swim 12 times a week. There's so many. There's hundreds in your country. Just go join one full time, that kind of thing. Like, you have as good a swimming culture as any country in the world in America.
So that's what I'm working on right now. It doesn't even have to be collegiate. The collegiate swimmers they're too fast for me.
Yeah.
So I've got a great high school program.
Brilliant.
15-minute drive away, and unfortunately, I'm having to work on the coach right now to let me join. I sent him an email. I've introduced myself on the pool deck. He said to me, oh yeah, because he helped Ben Canute prepare for the Olympics. He said, oh yeah, I helped prepare Ben Canute. Ben, you? He thinks I'm like an age grouper or something. So I'm showing up at the pool every time when they're there. I'm looking him in the eyes, and I'm making him know me so that he's going to let me join them.
Don't you hate that?
It's a long haul.
Don't you hate that kind of that's the kind of person that's going to tell everybody that they saw you from the get-go when you win a world title.
When you win the world title, he's going to be like, I found Phil.
Yeah. That time when I discovered and won the deck, and I had to tell him to come to the squad, and he wouldn't want. Man, that story is going to get twisted. You make sure it gets twisted.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm confident he's going to let me join. Just got to be persistent, right? And yeah, they've got like 14 practices a week or something.
Yeah.
So, like, even as a triathlete, then if you've got other commitments, bike run, you can still figure out a way to make it to 10 practices a week. So,
yeah, that's good. But this narrative of Americans needing to move to swim, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's just, Australia's great, but yeah, I love that plan.
Yeah, the system though in the US isn't that accessible.
Because of that.
Yeah, I feel like that's
it's
true.
really exclusive, I would say.
Yeah, you have to like start up as and I didn't start up as, it's like you're basically, we're a great swimming nation, but everyone goes down a path. They start with their swim club when they're, 6, and then they move up the path through high school, and they get to college, and they're already great swimmers, and then college, and then they get to swim for free in college if they're good enough, and then they go professional. But like, I started swimming at 18, so all you really get then is like masters groups. You jump in with a masters coach who might tell you something, or might tell you nothing, or might tell you the wrong thing,
Yeah.
And so it's like trying to implement myself back in the program.
Yeah, as if you were 15.
As if I was 15.
Yeah.
And the coach said to me, he's like, well, you're going to be swimming with 14-year-old girls. And I said, I couldn't care less. Like I'm here to improve. Like I said, I can check my ego at the door. Like, I'm only here to improve, You
just need the right person to say yes.
Yes.
Like anything. And the good news is that you're so strong on the bike and the run that you don't need to swim like Martin Van Riel. You just need to swim a couple minutes better.
Faster. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. You've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I think we'll get you out of here. We've got a few guys waiting on the door. Just want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you,
Go
guys.
send it on the weekend.
Go send.
Give us some yo-yo-yo.
Yeah.
The demons and the pink.
Yo-yo-yo. Yeah.
The demons and the unicorn. You find your way in between. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Hey, mate. I haven't seen you since 2 weeks ago.
Did we? I didn't see you in Kona. I saw you 2 years ago in Kona on Polani. Yeah, everyone saw me there.
That was that's actually very true. Everyone did see you. You made sure everyone saw you.
Yeah, I'm usually
That was
just
one heck of a race. Holy shit! Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
You happy with that?
Gotta be.
Yeah?
Like, it's frustrating not to get the job done, like at the end, but at the same time also with the lead in, I just didn't expect to put myself in that sort of position. And even, it's such a change from running up into the 5th place or 6th place to actually be in second at some point of the races.
Yeah.
Quite cool already, but you make mistakes. Those aid stations on the Queen K on the run, they're so far apart.
We're not going into the aid station straight away, are we? Have you heard about this?
Who hasn't? The ice bucket thingy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
So,
In Cozumel last year, I did like 5 in a row. The second half marathon, I didn't know where the personal needs were, and they had shitty gels at the aid station. So I only drank Coke for the second half marathon. Drank Coke and dunked in those massive ice cube trays.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Yeah,
I assume everyone
did you see the
does.
video that got posted of him doing it?
No, I didn't.
45 million views. And it's just people who aren't in triathlon going off on Leon, like off on him. And we did a podcast during the week about it, for dunking his head, for being unhygienic, disrespectful,
For being French.
for being for voting for certain political sides because he dunked his head in there.
What?
Yeah, mate, you got to go read the comments. There's like 1,600-ish comments, and you'll spend 30 minutes sitting there reading them, just pissing yourself laughing the whole time.
Keyboard warriors out in force.
Yeah, 100%.
Most viewed video from
A few
Kona.
people have been backing me, but most people not really.
Really?
Yeah, it was interesting, but then.
But it's not the drinking water, is it? Anyway.
No, but
They
that's
just
what
don't
people think
understand
it is. People think it is, and
Yeah. And they
That's what
feel
it
the
is.
need to comment. Well,
that's
the
it. Like,
internet.
it's just so frustrating that people feel so, happy to say negative stuff about other people and they have no idea about the whole subject.
Especially over
Anyway.
something so stupid.
Yeah, main
it's
character.
not-
Can I be sitting in the middle, please? Because
There's a
I've
few
got main
comments that
character
say main
syndrome.
character syndrome. You know, like
Which
he
is
thinks he's the main character.
what is that, like youth speak? Like I didn't know what main character was.
Yeah,
But
you're Harry Potter. You're not Ron Weasley.
that is.
Gee whiz, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's.
You never know, but people get paid a lot of money to figure out what goes viral, and then here you are,
Yeah, it's
the
done
most
like
viral
10
triathlete of
times,
2024, sitting with
maybe
us.
10 times better than Patrick winning the race, actually. With
more
a
than 10.
massive.
Yeah, he's like 3.2 million or something, and you're 45 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all
There
the wrong
you go.
reasons.
Yep.
But yeah.
So,
Talking of 45 million, how are those legs feeling?
Are we live now?
yeah,
Okay.
been live the whole time.
Oh, that's for sure. Okay. I've not said anything stupid, have I?
No, not at all.
The legs are actually all right. I think the succession of travel has been not necessarily easy, but I was at
you go
home
home?
I was home for 10 days, or actually just under 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so I got a week of training in, pretty much, and came here yesterday morning, and now off to try out the pool, the loop, bike track, and all of that,
Yeah.
and see what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, how did you celebrate? That's what I want to know.
Just we went to this restaurant with my partner Flory and my cousins who were out there on the island. Out by Waikoloa, saw some manta rays in the night and just chill. And I think it's not that I shouldn't celebrate. Of course I should, but it's such a relief when you finally you're just cooked by the end, and the last 10K when you're racing so hard just for the positions not to change, you just want it to end, and then finally it does, and so it's time to relax. And it's been such a long build. I had a good performance in Ibiza. I was closest to the front of the race that I've ever been in the T100, and yet had my worst result. But I was like, I'm still building and still looking forward to grand final here in Dubai.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. No, I just remember when you told me in Singapore, I didn't actually mean on the island, just how you go home and you unwind probably more than the typical triathlete. And I found it so refreshing, actually. You just, you like to go and do your training and walk down to the pub.
Yeah, well, after Kona, I did chop some wood. I love chopping wood. We've got a wood burner, and so there's a lot of wood to chop because it's getting cold. And I told myself before Kona, no wood chopping because we don't want any accidents. And I got home and got the axe out and chopped some wood.
There you go. That's what I meant by celebrating.
Yeah.
It's a little thing.
Max Newman came fourth at Kona as well in 2022. Leon came fourth this year, and I asked him, how are you going to celebrate? And he goes, just been waiting all year to go home and dig some holes. And I said, oh, you're doing some plumbing or something? He goes, no, we bought some land. I just want to dig a hole. And so he went home after Kona and just dug some holes.
Has he got a digger? Like an
I was picturing a shovel. Maybe he has a digger, in which case that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But you're chopping wood, Max is...
Even with a pickaxe,
holes.
it's just so satisfying, I mean, it's kind of the same with training, although looking at training peaks and seeing fitness curves go up is not quite the same as seeing like a whole wall being painted or a stack of
stack of
freshly
wood.
chopped
Like it's
logs.
actually quite hard to split a piece of wood
Because you don't have
perfectly.
enough practice.
Yeah, probably.
It's actually just quite easy. They all hold
but, like,
together.
I tried it and it was like the whole thing would just bounce back like a rubber ball, and I was lucky it didn't hit me in the face. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely not my best
Have we
party
found
trick.
something that you're not good at?
Oh, heaps. And it's funny how. Yeah, never mind. Let's not get into it.
No, I think people need to hear what you're not good at.
I don't know why it's such a thing. Like people love hearing what I'm not good at.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to be able to relate.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bryce, do you remember Bryce Quirk?
No.
He was an ITU guy, one of the originals, and bumped into him on the beach in Noosa. And ever since, I went out and had a surf, and ever since I've been sending me messages about how awful my surfing is and how bad I am at it. So there's plenty out there. It's just, yeah,
It's just not public domain.
it's just not my Instagram profile.
Yes.
Can we talk about the breakfast here? Because I
Please
loaded
do.
up,
I am so
loaded up
hungry.
my plate, and I thought you'd be really proud because it had like salad, hummus, falafel, salmon. It was all protein and no carbs. So
This guy, I don't know, carb loading is definitely not made into your household.
then I had a second plate, and that was the French toast, the pancakes, the Nutella, the strawberries. Yeah.
I've got to make the breakfast. I am so hungry. I didn't make it this morning. I got to find something, so it's worthwhile.
Oh, 100%.
It's the best buffet we've had this year.
Yeah.
Singapore
was
number 2.
good.
This is best.
Did you make it to Miami? Sorry, Homestead.
Yeah,
The breakfast there was
that was
interesting.
that was underground. I mean, that was seriously.
I thought you were going to say good for a second there.
No. I almost tried the scrambled eggs on the first day and realized I don't think eggs ever made it in there. And
I think that's a bit like me chopping the axe. If you throw them, they just bounce back at you.
so, yeah.
Yeah, but this
no,
buffet's
is good.
crazy. It's got a Mexican, so it's massive. Have you seen how big it is?
No, dude. Stop telling me. I'm hungry.
All right, so it's got a Mexican thing, it's got a Chinese thing, so you can get like dinners,
I had
lunches,
sushi.
breakfast. Yeah, sushis, fried rice, like dumplings. It's got like every hot food you can think of, like everything.
Like a food court almost.
For sure. Well, yeah, pretty much. It's got a bacon station because
there's a pork station.
It's got like every pastry you could think about: waffles, pancakes.
And everything tastes good.
A whole fruit station, a juice
strawberries.
station.
Strawberries. The orange juice is freshly pressed. They've got these like ginger shots. So we're thinking
you
like
are selling it,
Yeah.
and you can get lunch there as well.
if you stay for long enough.
He was at breakfast in Ibiza for 3 hours.
It was all day breakfast, pretty much.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put the legs up. You got to rest, and you got to fuel up.
Train in the afternoon.
Yeah, makes sense. Is that your preferred hour? Do you prefer training in the afternoons?
In the afternoon / the night. Till 10 p.m. at times.
I used to be exactly like that. I used to love it.
Because mornings we just relax, French press, read the news, take the dog out if you can, and then we've got swimming at 10:30, and so I feel like it's too early to get something of quality done beforehand, and so they start at 10:30, and then you get home and you need to have a nap and recover, and then you do the rest. And we've got athletics at 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, so what are you gonna just wait,
I agree.
recover.
So you would do bike sessions at so Leon will occasionally do bike sessions like 7 till 10 p.m, 10:30 p.m. You would do that as well?
I used to do that being in Spain, definitely.
In Spain, yeah.
That one of the things, where you go, because you can't get dinner anywhere before 8 anyways, and I just used to love the sunset vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And then
In Kona, the number of times I rode in the dark.
yeah, but it's just like you're chasing that last bit of light. Like it's got something very pure where it's you versus the light.
Yeah.
And you try and
you
make
need to beat it.
Your shadow gets longer and longer, and you just try and get there.
It's special.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, you wouldn't know any about that.
Very different to how we do it in Australia.
It's just cultural, and if I went to Australia, which I hope I will at some point, I'll blend in. In Kona, I was getting up at 6, which probably is the middle of the day for them, but still early for me. And you just adapt and overcome.
Yeah, I agree. That's,
David Goggins.
Is that him?
He says stuff like that.
I thought it was Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls,
Yeah.
He definitely says that.
So
The UK. He's UK?
yeah,
The UK David Goggins, essentially, Bear Grylls.
maybe
Yeah.
That's it. Get hard.
Love it. Alrighty, we'll
you
get
go.
you off your feet.
Just one quick one. How are you going to go this weekend?
Well, I said I'd get a top 10, didn't I?
You did say that.
I say that every time. You got to be optimistic in this line of business, and we'll see. There's a lot of tired people, whether it's mental or physical, and
Tough conditions.
tough conditions. Actually, it's. I don't think anyone expected it to be a bit humid, which it is, and I might as well keep trying and see what it's like. I'd like to make the group. I always say it in the swim, and we'll see.
Well, if there's ever a time to do it, points and a half.
Grand
Well,
final.
almost points and a half. It's
Yeah, I think it depends on where you finish. You get
Yeah.
more or less. I need those points to get in the top 20, and top 10 is definitely not going to happen. But if I can get in the top 20 in the series, that's still pretty good.
awesome. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Send
Leon.
it. Probably see you at lunch.
No, I need to get some training done.
Oh, good man. I do need to go get some lunch and some coffee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I get here?
Yeah.
What's going on, boy?
Hello, brother.
What's going on?
How are you?
Good. How are
Good
you?
to see you.
Long time no see,
How are
mate.
you, man? You good?
I'm good.
Nice.
Where have you been?
Training.
Yep.
Training, getting fit.
Yeah.
Talk of the town in Girona. I was there yesterday. Everybody's telling me how you're looking fit, you're looking focused, and you're ready to kick some ass this
Yeah,
weekend.
man. Like, learn from you, you know. Don't race too much. Just train.
Yeah.
Race when you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You back, feeling healthy.
Real healthy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I was pretty much healthy straight away after Ibiza, but then to rush the training to get ready for Vegas, and then it's just not worth it, really. So
Yeah.
just got a good training block in, like 7-week training block, and the idea is to smash this one and then Taupo.
There you go. Yeah. You looking forward is top step. Is that the goal?
It's always the plan, isn't it? I mean, like,
I don't know. You tell me.
I think you said bit by bit, right? Like, you know, when we had that chat in Singapore, you were like, first of all, just get a result better than the last one. I got 5th, and then we made that small step to the podium, and then, as you say, the hardest step of them all was to make the top step. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm feeling really good. Like, I mean, obviously training is a small litmus test about what you can do in a race, but yeah, I've been training super well, and yeah, I know when I'm excited to race that it's always a good thing. When I'm itching to get going, and yeah, I was pretty itching to get going for this race, and yeah, so I'm happy.
So do you think maybe you getting a little bit of a bump in the road is kind of helpful? Because we were just talking about how long of a season it's been, right? I mean, Miami felt like it was yesterday, but to keep training and keep moving through and keep motivating yourself. See a lot of guys sitting here and the rings under the eyes are there, and I just see you like full of fire, ready to go. Was that actually maybe kind of the blessing in disguise?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I obviously only had my, I guess, reference field, and that's myself, and I'm super motivated right now. But then coming here to the race, you know, everyone's over it. Like,
Yes.
everyone's like, it's been such a long season. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, well. And it feels like it's almost like a lot of people are quite defeatist. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't actually account for this. Like, especially, obviously, because over the grand final, I can still win the series. I'm super motivated for that. But obviously having a home world champs in Taupo in 4 weeks' time is another massive goal for me. So I've just been laser focused for that race. So it hasn't felt like a long season. And yeah, obviously getting sick was a bit of a setback. So it was something that I had to come back from. So I had 2 weeks off, and then it was like, okay, right, we're doing a build now. And yeah, obviously getting started again after being sick was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but yeah, now I felt ready to go for a couple of weeks now, and it's been, kind of raring to get going. And yeah, it's quite nice to then come here and sort of chat to everyone who's over it, and I'm like, oh, I'm up for this one, so yeah.
Can you fill in the timeline for me, Kyle? So you came second at London, 20 seconds off from the win, and then we haven't seen you. I'd heard rumours that you were super fit after London as well. I was expecting you to come and have a great result at Ibiza. So between London, Ibiza, Vegas, and now here in Dubai. Can you just fill in the timeline for me?
Yeah, so obviously finished London, and like I was pretty tired after London. I mean, I went to the well in that race to try and catch Sam, and obviously just missed out. And yeah, like I was super happy with the race, but it was like, okay, what do I have to do differently? And to be honest with you, both in San Francisco and London, I felt physically like I was in super good shape, and I could have won the race if not for maybe small tactical errors. It was small margins here and there that I think if I didn't let Sam go on the bike and if I sort of reacted a bit differently, then maybe the outcome could have been different. But, you know, just taking that.
Do you feel you have that card?
Yeah, I felt like in London it was a tactical mistake instead of a physical mistake. I felt like on the bike I was being quite conservative. I was saving my energy because I knew I had the run, and to be honest with you, I didn't see Sam go in the first place, and then when Sam went, I think I stupidly underestimated him and didn't estimate him to run so well. So yeah, that was on me. I mean, you should never underestimate someone who's won a world title and is the caliber that he is. And so I've learned that lesson, to not underestimate anybody and to not let anybody go. And then yeah, I got back to training after London. It was going super well, and then obviously got the offer to go to Beijing to race. And to be honest with you, again, I underestimated, like, okay, I'm going to go. I did everything that I could right. You know, the way I traveled, the way I ate there, I took all my own food. I didn't eat, you know, the foreign food or anything, just to make sure that I didn't get sick. And yeah, unfortunately the water quality was pretty bad, so I came back after Beijing, got a bit of E. coli, and then kept training, obviously super motivated to go to Ibiza. And then yeah, just kind of dug myself into a well while I was a little bit sick, and then got really sick with a bit of flu. And yeah, so it kind of took a couple of weeks off, but to be honest with you, I think to recover from the season that we had was actually quite good at that point. I think it was almost like a perfect time, and now I've come back, and yeah, I think I'm stronger than I've been all season.
So, if you are in a battle here in Dubai at the grand final, is there anyone you're sort of worried about? You've made comment that some people look tired. You definitely don't look tired. I know some people who are good who look very tired. Are there certain people who you, I don't want to say discount, but in your head have gone, I don't think they're here for it, I think they're here for it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, you know, it's going to be who, if anybody, you let go on the bike. And to be honest with you, the conditions are so brutal here that, you know, you saw it in Kona, like the suicide missions people were going on the bike, and they really paid for it. And so it's that kind of tactical way up between, you know, if someone goes, like if Martin goes and I want to win the world title, I'm not exactly going to let him go up the road. But then as well, if you're going outside of your capacity, then, you know, you've got to make that decision in the time. Yeah, look, anybody, right? Like, suddenly people get their wind in their ears and a sniff at the wind, and they pull out miracles. And so you can't sort of give people hope like that.
Yeah. I think with you, something that people haven't realised until this year is how good a runner you are. You've been looked at as a swim biker, which has been crazy for us in Australia and New Zealand who have followed your career for a decade. You're a runner. You know, you always have been a runner. Do you expect this to come down to a run battle at the end of the day?
Yeah, for sure. I think like the caliber's so high, and I think everyone sort of respects each other so much. I think it's going to be more backdoor racing than it is front door racing. I think how it's been sort of all season, it's, you know, there's usually quite a big group coming out of the water of, you know, 10 or 12 people or whatever, and then it's then a race of attrition on the bike usually, and it's sort of just trying to keep your palate dry until the run, and then yeah, like. And I think especially in the heat, like a lot of people are just gonna, you know, be burning matches on the bike, I think, to stay in that group, and it's gonna be about controlling yourself and staying for the run. And then I honestly think it's gonna be a run of the mental, like a mental run battle as well, as much as it is a physical. Obviously the conditions are brutal, and yeah, when it's brutal like that, you've gotta dig something pretty deep inside yourself.
So going through the numbers, who do you see in that run battle? Because I mean, you can only focus on your race, right? You can only focus on trying, in your power is to try and win this race,
yeah.
Right? But realistically, you say you're with a chance to get a world title. It's kind of Martin's race to lose, arguably. Who do you see that could be in your ideal scenario, filling in the gaps that you need? Because what I think he needs to be fourth?
Martin, fifth.
Yeah. Look, the heat does crazy things, right? And you know, once you go, and there's no coming back. And yeah, to be honest with you, I was hoping Yellow was going to be here. I chatted with him chatted with him on WhatsApp when he was in Doha Airport trying to get a connection flight to here, and I was like, that would have been good.
What happened?
Because he's going to Australia. His girlfriend is in Australia, so he's moving there. He didn't get an automatic start here. He got a wild card with reasonable notice for a wild card to a T100 race, but his flights, he couldn't get here. Okay. So yeah, Justice took it instead.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Justus Nieschlag, he obviously proved himself in Vegas. He could be there. Obviously Magnus performed super well in Miami, performed well in Kona.
Will he be tired?
He will be tired, but he seems not to really affect him, does it?
Magnus.
You know, it's Magnus.
He's up next. We'll see. We'll do the eye check.
Sam or Magnus, who will be more tired?
Sam Long.
Laidlow.
Laidlow's not racing.
Oh yeah, he pulled out, didn't he? I forgot the hamstring.
Yeah, exactly. So Laidlow's more tired.
I forgot about that.
Than Magnus is. And just
talking of which, here he is.
He's in the pants. Hello. This is Mental Games.
How are you, buddy? You good?
What's going on, boss? We're just talking about you, dude.
This is Mind Games. It's too hot.
Showdown.
Yeah. And you look surprisingly fresh.
I think so.
Yeah, your face, you're looking good. We've seen a few of the guys come through, and most of them looking pretty tired. Actually, this is a fully energized couch. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's good to be here.
How's the travel been?
Pretty easy. It was only a 6-hour direct flight, so yeah.
But you've done a bit of travel in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's more the issue. So this travel was actually pretty easy, but coming from Hawaii was tough.
Yeah, but you recovered, and you're I mean, what a race of grit and determination coming out. When I saw you come off the bike, I wasn't quite sure it's going to end as well as it did.
I thought I was done also, so I'm pretty happy that I managed to turn it around. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, it was a really, really tough day. But
Casper's told this story on your behalf, but I've been waiting all week to hear it from your perspective. He said that you sat in T2 and gave yourself 60 seconds and counted to 60 just to see if you could even get out there on the run. Tell me the story.
Yeah, so obviously we rode really hard the first part of the bike. I wanted to bridge the gap to Sam, and then coming down from Harvey, I was like, I have to go easier, this is too much. But then I completely exploded also when we had the last hour of the bike, and I was starting to get all sorts of weird pain in my glute that I haven't had before on a bike, and I was just like really, really dead. So I thought I wasn't even sure I would be able to run the marathon. I was contemplating even on the bike if I would be able to make it to the finish line, and then into T2 and decided just to sit there for a little bit to kind of gather my thoughts, and then I made a deal that I would run out the first turnaround point on alley drive, and just at an easy pace I knew I would be able to hold. And then everyone started exploding around me, and I was feeling like really bad, but I saw the others must also have been feeling really bad, and then I somehow got back into the race.
Shared pain is half the pain, huh? When you see everyone else sucks.
Sometimes when you suffer a lot, it helps that you see that others suffers even more, even though you're always like much focused on yourself. Sometimes seeing others suffer is also a little bit of a good thing.
If you could do that on Sunday, have a 1 minute sit down on transition, that'd be fantastic.
I don't think that's going to happen, no.
Can we go back to this weekend? Because you were saying Jan asked a question I was really interested in. Who will be the people that will be there in the run battle? We started talking about Magnus, but what do you think about Yuri and Sam Long, given they were 1-2 at Singapore? Do you expect them to both have good races here?
Yeah, for sure. They've proven that they're good in the heat. And look, at the end of the day, I can't control that, right? I can try my best to win, and I can't really control where everyone else finishes, and you know, like even if I get in 5th or whatever and I've had the best day of my life, then that is what it is at the end of the day. But I'm going to fight tooth and nail definitely to try and get across the line and as high as a position as I can.
And your 2 best runs, San Francisco and London, cool-ish. London wasn't that cold though. Do you see yourself as being good in the heat versus in the cold?
Yeah, I mean, like Singapore was obviously pretty extreme, and I definitely suffered in Singapore, but it wasn't like, that's a pretty extreme level, I think. But yeah, this season I've actually been going quite well, and obviously living in Spain in the summer kind of gets you pretty good at that. And yeah, I've done a lot of heat preparation this year. I think this has been my 4th heat prep for the year. And so yeah, I think like the more you do it, the better you get at it. And yeah, I've been feeling quite good actually. So but yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see what it comes out on Sunday. But I do have, probably inspired by Magnus, a nice new white suit. So coming out looking like 50 Cent, I think, on Sunday. White headband, white suit.
Is it white or?
Oh yeah, no, it's got a liner in it, so we've got I basically look like Christian in Tokyo, and it went all right for him. So.
How are you feeling about the course?
Yeah, so I haven't seen it myself yet in person, but I think it's fair to say that the bike course is probably not the one I would have drawn up if I had all tools in my box. So I think this will be more of a runner's race, and maybe a bit more like I'm hoping there will be some kind of separation like in Miami, where people were just like dropping off one by one slowly, so and then kind of the strongest one survives to the end. But I think for sure it will be more of a runner's race, and I'm just hoping it will be hot and humid like hell, because then I think I will have some I think I'm pretty decent at managing that, whereas some others might be more tempting for them to go out too hard, and then they will make mistakes in the heat, where I feel like I'm pretty good at controlling that.
You're the mastermind at managing your effort. I mean, that's what you do. That's like part of your recipe to success. So I think you're definitely the one in favor. Bike course here, technical. You think that should split up a bigger group, right? I mean, with all the turns
maybe
and everything.
Sometimes I feel like it comes together also a bit more. So
Because they allow that little bit of drafting through the technical sections. The roads are so fast.
yeah, I remember racing you in Milwaukee, where seeing you how you just managed to corner your way through all the technical parts, and then
that was my thing. Shit talk Christian and make sure I take those corners a little bit harder than you, which is not hard to do, to be honest, at that stage. But I think it's part of your motivation to have improved on that.
So I don't think the bike will create that big of a separation, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I think it's time to get you off your feet anyways. Make sure you rest up, and we'll go get all the nitty-gritty details from Magnus on you.
Now you're doing
he's
shit talking.
He's got another 5 minutes.
Now the
Best of
gloves
luck,
are
mate.
off.
Good luck.
Oh, the knuckles. Good to see you again,
Me
mate.
too, man. Good to see you, Magnus.
Good to see you. I'm switching over here.
Come and join us on the hot couch.
I voted you as my athlete of the year.
Thank you.
Alrighty. You've done the maths. You can obviously only do your race. What's on the cards? What have you been dreaming up, visualizing up, or have you just recovered from Kona and kind of hoping for the best?
No, I mean, it's super motivating having this series now. Also seeing it's not just this race, it's the overall series we're fighting for, and I think that has helped me to kind of motivate me even more for this race. And I think it will be both a fun and motivating experience to be out on the course, and kind of obviously it is so tight that it will be maybe difficult to remember everything, but I have a lot of people that can help me with that as well out on the course. So I'm interested to see the dynamics, how it unfolds when the series is also on the line.
Yeah.
If it will get more tactical some places, and some people don't want to work, or some people really want to make a big deck here to see if they can get rid of someone. And I think it will bring a little bit of a new dimension.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time we've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Especially over this kind of distance. I'm certainly looking forward to the battles, but yeah, are you right now kind of doing your normal routine? Does this kind of up the stakes? Tell us where you're feeling.
Yeah, I think I raced T100 London after a full distance earlier this year, and I felt so flat. So we have changed a little bit in what we did, but like the distance between the races were the same as they are now. So we've really now focused on freshening up and not doing that much of quality work, still like doing some activations and so on, but no real hard work. So I'm hoping it will leave me more fresh than I was in London, and then I for sure know, like before Kona, my fitness was the best it has ever been. So fitness doesn't disappear out of the window like that. So I think there are something there that I'm hoping to show on the race course.
3,000 meters. Like preparing at 3,000 meters. Like it seems crazy. Coming down here, you must just feel like, like you're on an oxygen tank.
It's a nice feeling. You probably know it yourself, but
no, I don't.
it is crazy how much I benefit from it. Obviously, it is difficult to train up there, so I don't think many people would be able to do it. So they can try to copy it if they want, but it is really, you are balancing a lot of things. But I think we got it right, and I'm confident that I'm in a very good space.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You coming here to win, or are you just coming here to fulfill a contract?
Of course, I'm coming here to fight for the win. I mean, also both the race, but also the overall standing. It is so close. Also, not just looking ahead to Martin for me, but second, third, and fourth is super close, like within a few points. So it will also be. I mean, if I end up in a position where I'm not feeling super great, I also have to race to the best of my ability, because there are like secondary positions as well. So there are so many factors here that is really motivating me, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess the thing that strikes me is that pretty much anybody who's in the running, it's the first world kind of major title, right? Am I mistaken there? I'm kind of thinking.
I mean, apart from WTCS.
Yeah, but
long course.
Yeah,
definitely.
In terms of long course, and yeah, it's such a tricky balance, right? Like to think about having that on your pedestal.
Yeah.
Kind of something you probably want to tell your grandkids about.
Yeah, I mean, it's as you say, it's difficult when it's the first year, but that would also make it even more special. And then what I'm hoping, and I think what we are all hoping, is that this becomes the thing in triathlon. It already is starting to become, or is maybe the biggest in triathlon already. So then in a few years, you never know where that will rank to other races.
Yeah, absolutely. Go out there and get it, my friend. Go out and best of luck.
Thank
Get
you.
the last, 48 hours to relax and enjoy the carbs, lots of them. And let us know what you think about the bike course.
You going to make a move on the bike, or are you just going to sit in the group?
I'm not sure I'm gonna. I mean, now Sam is not here, so that changes quite a lot, actually.
Someone's got to go off the front.
No, not necessarily. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck, mate.
Right.
Thank you.
Have fun.
We're rooting for you. Good
Thanks.
luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
We done?
We got all the faves. No.
No. Oh, Arnie's here.
Anne's here. Come join us. Soon as Triathlon Denmark.
I'm sorry we messed up the German situation in Kona.
The what?
Nothing.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Wie geht's?
Good.
Oh,
Hi again.
Me and Arnie, we always bro shake.
yeah.
Yep.
There you go. How come? You guys got something just over the season
A
that's developed?
bromance has developed.
Oh,
I've
there you
been
go.
so much around the 100.
Honey, how are you?
Yeah, good so far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When did you get in?
On Tuesday.
Okay. So been here a little bit. Conditions?
Yeah, I like Lanzarote. We had
Probably like them, huh? Like your
yeah.
second home, almost.
Yeah, I mean, I moved there, so yeah,
So your first home? Ah, okay.
kind of. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, cool. I mean, you always spend a lot of time there, like
Yeah,
preparing
yeah.
there.
Yeah, finally I bought something and really
Yeah?
enjoy it. Yeah.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hence the tan, hence being ready.
Yeah, I hope so.
Cool. Now all you need is that little bit of luck for the weekend.
Yeah, you know, I mean, my season was a bit different than normal, but yeah, I mean, it's a big challenge and I hope I have some energy left for the last bit, but yeah, I was really struggling this year, I have to say, and things didn't go like I wanted it, but some seasons are like that, you know.
Physically or mentally you were struggling?
Physically, I mean,
Yeah.
I was sick almost after every race I was sick, and yeah, so it was a big struggle.
Okay, yeah, I mean, obviously we saw the outward heartbreak. You just had bad luck. I mean, that kind of plays into it.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of more referring, I hope you get some good luck and get to show what you've worked for all seasons, because I think there's been some good shape, right? You've had some
Yeah, I mean,
signs of light.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, if I look back, it wasn't all bad. So I was really pleased with my race in Roth. I didn't expect that because I come from a long period of sickness, and that was really unexpected. And when I expect good racing, I was a bit unlucky. So that really, was mentally tough to digest, I would have to say. Yeah.
So this is one of the things you should know about Dan. Dan is not a man of many words. He's certainly not a man of sharing anything. But when Dan tells me that Anne's in good shape, then I know something's up. Then I know the kindling must be lighting. So that's the message he sent to me in Nice.
Okay.
So
I was really looking forward to the race because I thought that suits me really well with the steep climbs and the long climbs, and but then it didn't happen. Yeah. So
Dan Lorang, Jan Frodeno's long-time coach. You're even longer time coach. You've been coached for about 30 years by Dan.
I'm not as old, but
It's over 20 though, right?
Yeah, half of my life, yes.
That's got to be the longest triathlon coach pro triathlete relationship in the sport's history, I think. I can't
he
think
was
of
my
any that's
first
been
coach.
longer.
We met in university, and ever since I'm working with him. So he's just the best coach in the world.
Yeah, and you referred to it, the bad luck. Have you sorted your tyres and tubes out? That's 3 issues you've had now with your tyres or tubes. Have you got to the bottom of all of the problems?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. In Nice, it was the tire, which must have run through a cable tie or something because there was such a long tear in it, and I couldn't repair it, and there was no service available. And in Las Vegas, I went through cactus stitches or something.
Is that what it was?
We found like little punches in it. So I had 2 in the rear and 1 in the front when I was back.
same tires, or did you change tires?
I did have different tires, my normal tires, but I will run with inner tubes, with Aerotan inner tubes, but now we changed to tubeless, and because it wouldn't have happened with tubeless,
And
because
either
it was so tiny bits.
Singapore wouldn't have happened either.
No, Singapore was my tube came down and wrapped around my tire.
Yeah, but if you were racing tubeless, you wouldn't have had that on the back of your bike.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe I try the tubeless now, and so we will see what happens.
All good things comes in 3, so for sure you're gonna pull things around here. I mean, the course conditions we talked about, the course, have you had a chance to look at it?
Not yet, no. I mean, I raced 70.3, but I think it's completely different, this T100 race course, but we will see it tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Are you in, like, if you compare your shape now to, say, PTO European Open, or when you've won Kona, where are you right now?
I mean, it's a bit different to say because I think the level of T100 is just different than it was last year, and I'm always better prepared if I come from winter preparation, and start with T100 or 70.3s where you have this quick and speed in you, and then take this speed and move it on to Ironman racing. But this year was so differently, so that I have to start with Ironman racing, and nowadays it's really hard to get out of that and get quick again, and you really need to be, because nowadays when all the ITU athletes step into T100, it's just like an ITU race, and it's hard to jump from Ironman to T100 nowadays. So I don't know. I wished I would be a bit quicker and I would be a bit fresher, but I mean, it's end of season for everyone, so we'll see who has the most energy left for the last one.
If you could find yourself in a situation, complete hypothetical, where you come into T2 with Ash Gentle, Taylor Knibb, Julie Duron, do you back yourself to outrun those three?
That would be epic. Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Yeah, good.
I don't know. I haven't shown it this year, and I'm a strong I think if you haven't shown it, then you can't say yes, I will. So I think I can, but if you haven't shown it, then
No, but it
you
doesn't
don't
matter.
ever know.
We would just want to know if you see yourself there.
It strongly depends how much energy you have to left on the bike course. I mean, I always say it's a complex sport, and every discipline influences the run. And if you have enough energy left, for sure I can run quick, and I hope I still have it in me, even with 2 Ironmans racing. But yeah, I mean, my training has gone well, and I was quick in training, but you always have to show it on race day, you know?
I saw her running on the treadmill as I got off the plane. I went to the gym. I saw you running on the treadmill. Yeah, she's got it.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
You never look bad running though, do you? Like,
I mean, this year I haven't shown it in T100 at least that what I can do.
you ran pretty fast in Roth.
Yeah, but it was an Ironman or a long course race, so yeah, it's different.
Excited. I'm very excited to see it, and cheering for you. Honestly,
Thanks.
I just wish that little bit of luck and just make it a round season. It's been a long season for everybody. I think a lot of races, and we're seeing really different energy levels from athletes. I think the only one we've seen who's really fresh is Carl Smith.
Probably Carl,
He
yeah.
comes in here and he's ready to take a lot of.
I reckon I saw
but
some
he was-
bags under Magnus's eyes.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it in this light, but
He did,
even
didn't
Magnus,
he?
everyone just. Yeah, it's a different dynamic, and you obviously know it from ITU days. Having the whole narrative and going again and again and again, and served you well. It's sometimes also not served us too well. I remember.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time we had a real hug actually in London.
That's really true.
So you've got the experience, and I think you've got the resilience. Go
I
make
hope
it work.
so. Yeah,
Good luck.
thanks so much.
Rest up. Enjoy the carbs.
Definitely.
See you on race day.
Thanks so much.
Good luck.
See ya.
Wrap it up now.
Yeah.
So what do you make of all that?
Yeah, honestly, crazy. Whenever we do these things, last time we did this in London, right? And just different energies that come in.
Yeah.
And it's so personal. It's so raw. 1 or 2 days out from 2 or 3 days, out from the race. I find it fascinating where athletes are and the confidence they have in their predictions. No one here was confident. Like, no one said, I'm here to win.
No. Kyle was the closest we got to it. I felt like he had a quiet confidence.
He does, but he's got that Kiwi understated.
Yep.
He's always like, he doesn't want to go out and be the bragging guy. Like, yeah, no, I'm here to win.
You wouldn't bet against him though now, would you? Like, if you were going to pick a winner, do you pick him or Martin?
I had the chance to speak to Martin this morning as well. And yeah, I mean, from an energy kind of level, the thing I think is Martin is at a point in his career where he's probably a little bit more desperate.
Yeah.
And desperation is something that can carry you through a very hot 18K final run along the promenade here.
I feel like with Martin, his energy is a bit lower than Kyle's, but what you're saying is right. This is his everything. Like, he's not going to 70.3 Worlds. If he can win one race this year, this is it. Whereas Kyle's probably this and Taupo 70.3 Worlds. Whereas Martin, he'll kill himself before he loses.
And that's the thing, at kilometer 15 or at kilometer 17.8, it's good not to have options.
Yeah.
It is definitely good to not have options and just be all in focused. So,
And the loss to Yala has to have been like, that has to have eaten away at him the last couple of weeks preparing for this. It has to have.
You wonder. I mean, that being said, he has, like Martin's had all his success, early success here in the Middle East with Bahrain and Dubai. You know, he's done those races, but I wonder, you know, because on one hand, it takes away the expectation of having the perfect race. He does have some margin.
But you say pressure's a privilege.
Yeah, but I say that now. When I was in Martin's situation in 2009, WTS final, and I needed to do exactly the same. I need to just be like within 3 places of Javier to be world champ. I blew up.
Yeah.
I got 40th, and I tanked it. And that was part of my process of realizing how good pressure actually is and what it can get out. But it's a learning process, so that's such an individual thing, how athletes figure it out for themselves. Be interesting to see.
Is there a chance Sam Long can win? Or are we thinking like, oh yeah, he can run up to second or third? Or like, do we truly believe he can actually win? Or do we just say that?
I almost feel like the level has changed again within the season. Like early on in the season, I'm like, yeah, no, he can do something amazing. But now, it's just the top 3-4 athletes. They just have no chink in their armor.
None.
There is nothing. Like, I mean, they're swimming ace, but then you saw Martin ride with Sam Laidlaw.
Yeah.
In Ibiza, and I mean, you know, that seems like a difficult thing to do. Magnus was talking about how he blew up trying to ride up to Sam. So
yeah, well, Magnus won Miami, the first race of the year, and now I don't know. I kind of find it hard to see him winning. I can see him finishing third or fourth very easily, but do I picture Magnus winning? No, I don't think I can see him outrunning Kyle or Martin when push comes to shove.
As an athlete, to be frank, I didn't see Magnus having that speed that's needed, but he has a firm belief that he does.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of the most important thing. Magnus works a lot on his run. He runs huge volumes.
Yes.
He's been preparing well, and maybe this is exactly the thing, that he's taken 2 weeks to just do short intervals like he was telling us, like just quick sprints, getting his movement patterns going again. Maybe this is the way he finds that speed out of all the base miles.
We're not even talking about Yuri Kulan, who won the race with the closest conditions to this in Singapore and won it so easily. He made that move on that bike, didn't get seen again, you know, so can he have a big day?
Yeah, it's a definite contender. I mean, he's spoken openly about his demons he's faced since, and like, he's trying to figure it out. But I mean, that was such a big race. And that kind of race can come with expectations, especially when he does it as comfortably as he does, to kind of think, okay, this is the way it goes. And rather than that, it actually puts a target on his back, and now athletes are really honing in on him. And it's a tough balance to get right.
And then we have the women. Everyone's kind of always said that these conditions are Ash Gentle's conditions, but now we sort of have this weird narrative that's taken over where Julie Duron's now the best runner in T100, not Ash Gentle, and Taylor Knibb seems to have just got the better of Ash and Julie. What do you see playing out there with those 3 women? And then also we've got Indy Lee, Kat Matthews, Arnie Haug as well.
I mean, the women's race is really interesting because for the first time we've got someone who has built an aura around themselves that makes them seem unbeatable.
Yep.
Taylor Knibb, you see the girls, you listen to the interviews, whoever it is, everyone talks about her being in a different league. You know, it's her race.
She's our Tadej Pogacar at the moment.
Pretty much, you know, and if she puts one foot in front of the other, everyone is so respectful that right now it's not really a race of conditions, it's not really a race of dynamics, it's a race of beliefs, of whether anybody can not lose the race before the gun goes. That's how I kind of feel it is in the women's race at the moment. I think Ash has, you know, worked hard. She went and had some fun in Noosa, and I think that's a great part of Ash's preparation, is if she's having fun, she lightens up and she can lose the tension around it and get the best out of herself. And then, Julie, obviously the newcomer, has had a bit more time to work on her bike. Everybody knows they need to work on the bike.
Yeah.
If you look at the official rankings, I think the next fastest cyclist is like with 4 minutes behind or something like that in the predictions. But But you know what? That's the beauty. That's why we've got to watch the race and see for a nail biter. Either way, whether it's Martin or whether it's Taylor, nobody can beat them without them faltering.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's an interesting position where they actually need to be beaten by a few positions in order to not be crowned world champions here.
Yep. Our second T100 lobby, it was fun. They're long, but I like them. They're relaxed, they're casual. You sort of get a bit of a different vibe from the athletes. So yeah, it's been fun doing them with you this year, Jan, and can't wait for the race this weekend.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Boom.